Welcome to Bayou Time. I'm Jacob DeGate, glad to be your host. Last night, South Central Louisiana Human Services Authority hosted a screening of the award-winning documentary, Tipping the Pain Scale, at the AMC Palace 10 Theater here in Houma, Louisiana. The film investigates the current failures of how we have dealt with addiction to date and follows 6 dynamic characters on their journey to develop and employ new, innovative, and often controversial solutions. Afterwards, local leaders address the movie and the addiction crisis in our own community.
Welcome to our movie events we are having here in support of Recovery Month, which was actually September, but we're just a few days late in getting this showing. I'm Kristen Bonner, the Executive Director for South Central Louisiana Human Service Authority, and I just welcome you to enjoy the show.
Tell us about this problem, because you say it's a pandemic. How did we get to these pandemic proportions?
In the late 1990s, there was a paradigm shift for treating chronic pain.
Might be overdosing.
People are ODing anywhere they use.
It's like the country had to hit bottom, where 70,000 folks died, till anybody even said, maybe we're doing something wrong.
Stigma and judgment are keeping people with the disease of addiction from getting the help they need, and this, in my opinion, is killing more people than overdoses.
So y'all enjoyed it, but what you notice about the film or the documentary? What they showed, just what? But I'm talking about in general, large cities, right? But it's not just in large cities. We see it in small towns, we see it in the rural areas, it's all over. Addiction is a problem. It's taking people down where the demons want you to go. And the thing about it is what? We need to work together. Don't think law enforcement don't care. We do. The biggest problem we see is where do we place people who need help? That's one of the biggest problems we fight all the time. Because it starts with what? Mental health issues, which leads down to the addiction road. Because somewhere in our lives, what? We see it all the time. We all got family and friends. I got family and friends I see go down that road, and you try to help. And the sad part is to find places to help them and keep them with the help that they need. And I've worked with several that instead of, jail's not the place, okay? We need to get the help that they need to get them back on the right track. But there's also signs that we can see before they get that far down. We just have to read those signs and be aware. If we see changes in people, we have to act on it, not just push them to the side and let them go down the road so deep that it's hard sometimes to pull them back out, or they wind up committing suicide or dying from overdoses.
A lot of times across the desk, I'm talking to parents that have loved ones that are addicted, have issues, they've been in and out of jail, and I sit down with them. Most of the time is like, look, you gotta come up with a strategy. Sometimes I do make arrests, and I use that as a strategy so they can follow on, put them in a right path. And it's sad when a parent is gonna say, you know what, I want my son in jail so I know he ain't gonna OD somewhere. I've seen it 1,000 times. But most of the time is working with families and really at that go in and understand with the addiction. Look, I got a friend of mine I served in the Marine Corps with. He's an addict. I served with him. And I asked him, I said, you know, won't you Marine up? So I pulled him, we did an intervention. And I said, what the hell you thinking that you would put something in your vein, not knowing where it come from and it kill you? He says, you don't understand the addiction. I'll play a game of Russian roulette if you give me a fix. So what does that tell you? They're suicidal. It's exactly what it is. And a normal person cannot rationalize how somebody can put something in their veins and die. It'll kill them.
I'm at the second level, and these guys see it on the front end, and their officers, you know, see it on the front end, and then we get it at the next level. And I want to echo what Sheriff Saunier said about dealing with parents. I can't tell you how many times parents have come to us and said, don't let him out of jail. He will go back on the street, he'll do it. Don't, you know, get his bond up. You know, he's got friends that'll come bond him out. Keep him in jail. It'll save his life. It'll save his life. That happens once or twice a week. Once or twice a week. And so that puts us at a moral dilemma sometimes, you know, because we don't want to put everybody in jail. I mean, our system is designed for second chances. Drug court's been around for a while, but then we had DWI court. Now we have family preservation court. In addition, we have a lot of pretrial interventions. You know, we have DAP, District Attorney Probation for DWIs. We have extensive narcotics diversion. We have many things that are available. So the resources are there, you know, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the individual. They got to want it.
My primary objective is just to treat as many patients with addiction that I can and substance disorders, and I have a lot of empathy for my patients. And this was a great documentary. It was very powerful. One of the things that kept going through my mind as I watched this documentary is that substance dependence, it has no barriers. When you watch this film, we saw all ages, all backgrounds, all genders. It doesn't have a preference. It will affect all people. And so there's hope. And I think the hope comes in things like this, documentaries, and people getting the word out. And we do a lot of the same things that you see in this documentary. We try to put Narcan in the hand of every patient so that, they can let their family members and friends know that if anything happens, that they have some kind of resource to help maybe save another life. We offer counseling, and we have very good medications for alcohol dependence as well, mainly naltrexone, Vivitrol. So, if I could just leave you guys with one thing, one word of advice: someone knows someone that's struggling with substance dependence. Get the word out to them, let them know that we have safe and effective medications, and try to do everything you can to encourage them to come in for treatment.